Welcome to HSE Pulse, a one-stop solution for all HSE related topics. I am Srinath Ganesh, experienced HSE professional with experience from various industries such as oil and gas, construction industries, etc. As part of NEBOSH GIC course series, International General Certificate in Occupational Health and Safety, we are under Unit GIC1, Management of Health and Safety. Under that, we are currently seeing Element 1, why we should manage workplace health and safety. Under Element 1, there are three sub-elements available. 1.1 Morals and Money, 1.2 Regulating Health and Safety, and 1.3 Who does what in organizations. Regarding 1.1 and 1.2, we have already covered in the previous two videos. Kindly refer to the videos for gaining knowledge related to the topics of 1.1 and 1.2. In this video, we are going to see completely about 1.3 Who does what in organizations. We are going to cover the NEBOSH GIC complete course in the upcoming videos. Kindly please subscribe to the HSE Pulse so that only further uploaded videos regarding the course will come as a notification to your mobile. Let's go into the video and discuss the topic in depth in the upcoming slides. Under element 1.3, Who does what in organizations, there are three sections available. The employer, the shared responsibilities of joint occupiers of premises, and contractor management. A person or organization that employs people is called as employer, and persons working under the employer are called as employees. There are various employees starting from the CEO to frontline workers, to the lower level workers working in the organization. Under each of the category of workers, what are their roles and responsibilities in terms of health and safety? That only we are going to see under the section of employer. Directors and managers, their main core responsibility in terms of health and safety is to ensure that the right health and safety policy is put in place. Adequate resources are allocated to establish, implement, and maintain the health and safety management system, which includes sufficient funding to deliver the objectives in the policy, also competent personnel to assist in the delivery of the policy objectives. Ensure that the right organization structures with clear roles and responsibilities are put in place, along with the organizational structures and job roles and responsibilities in terms of health and safety. One or more competent persons are appointed to assist the organization in meeting its health and safety obligations. Contractors are engaged and managed correctly, demonstrating the organization's health and safety responsibility to third parties. The health and safety performance of the organization is reviewed on a regular basis, either monthly basis or weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. It depends on the number of workers working in the company and hazard levels in the workplace to ensure that the objectives are being achieved and that the objectives and measures in place remain valid and in current. Continuation to the what are the roles and responsibilities of middle managers and supervisors? Line managers will be operationally responsible for the health and safety of the staff that work directly for them, which means their direct reports in the upper category. Staff lower down in the organization chart below their direct reports. The areas and activities under their control are safe. Below is the attached organizational structure, showing from the top management person such as managing director to supervisors. So under this organization structure, you can able to clearly understand who are all the supervisors working in the organization, whom are all the supervisors reporting to, whom are all the managers, and managers whom they are reporting to, directors, directors whom they are reporting to, managing director. In the actual scenario, with the complete names, designation, okay, and including department, all these things it will be mentioned in the organization structure clearly. This is just a sample of the organizational structure. It will be looking like an inverted tree. The shared responsibilities of joint occupiers of premises. When two employees share a workplace, it is not difficult to imagine that the risks that one employee creates in that workplace may affect the employees of the other employer also. For example, when two employers share the office means where they are occupied in the same building, the fire risk created by one employer affects the safety of the employees of the other also. It follows that both employers should cooperate and coordinate with their activities to ensure good health and safety standards. This can be done through effective communication between employees, the exchange of relevant information, and the development of appropriate policies and procedures, etc. Simultaneously, when 10 companies are operating in the same building, 10 employees are sharing the common office building, which is located at 10 floors, means each floor is occupied by one employer, means totally 10 employees are there. In that case, they should establish a building management committee with regular meetings. Consultation also can take place through committee, and policies and procedures can be developed and implemented throughout the building as and when required. So this practice will ensure things are in a safe manner, and we can able to control the hazards and risks exist in the workplace in a better manner. Contractor management. A person or organization engaged to undertake certain work on behalf of a client, but not under the client's direct supervision and control. They are called as contractors. A person or organization who engages a contractor is called as client. For example, Hyundai, a well-known automobile company. L&T Construction, it is also a well-known company. Hyundai wishes to expand a plant by constructing a new plant premises, but they can't able to do. They will look into who is specialized in construction activity. So, and after analysis, they wish to give that work to L&T. So, in this case, L&T Construction is the contractor, Hyundai Automobiles is a client. And management of contractor by client, it can be broken into three key areas, such as selection of contractors, planning and coordination of the work, monitoring and managing the work. Selection of contractors. Before selecting the contractors, we need to ensure in terms of health and safety whether they are competent enough to carry out the work safely. So the following are the parameters through which we can able to judge the contractor whether they are competent or not. A copy of their health and safety policy of the contractor company, examples of risk assessments and method statements, the qualifications and training records of the staff working under the contractor, membership of a professional organization or certified body of contractor by any professional organizations, records of maintenance and test for plant and equipment, names of previous or current clients to use as references, previous accident history records including accident reporting form, accident investigation form, etc. Records of any enforcement action taken by the legal authorities against the contractor in terms of any penalties, fines, imprisonment, etc. Proof of adequate resources such as access to specialist safety advice. By following parameters, we can able to select the contractors and assess them whether they are competent enough to carry out the work safely. Planning and coordination of the work. Information must be exchanged between the client and the contractor. The client should tell the contractor about the hazards and risks in the workplace. The contractor also should tell the client about the hazards and risks created by their work. In this way, the work can be planned so that everyone is kept safe and we can also prevent the accidents and injuries to the people. The contractor should carry out the risk assessments on the work involved and develop safe working methods to control the risks identified. The client and contractor must coordinate their work carefully so as not to conflict between them. There may be several contractors working on site at any one time, and the activities of one person or organization must not cause a hazard for another in the area. For example, if one contractor is working at a height, it would be sensible to avoid others working beneath them in that same area. Monitoring and managing the work. Proper arrangements in terms of health and safety wise must be made by the client to ensure that the contractor complies with the safe working practices. Some of them are the following: having a sign in and out procedure for the contractor personals, ensuring that the contractor provides a named work supervisor, carrying out site induction training for all contractor workers by the client, controlling high risk activities with a proper permit to work system. So that's it about the element 1.3, who does what in organizations. Hope you have got a clear idea on the topic we have seen today. As we are going to see the complete NEBOSH GIC course series in the upcoming videos, so kindly subscribe to HSC Pulse so that only further uploaded videos will come as a notification to your mobile and you can access it without any delays. Thanks for watching. We'll discuss more topics in the upcoming videos.